Pentagon Poem, Divine Dawn Harmony. As you asked, I'm turning Surah to Pentagon Poem 5 verses into a poem, Sajak, that looks like a pentagon. This means it has 5 stanzas, because a regular pentagon is linked to the golden ratio, Phi 1.618, which shows divine harmony. Each stanza has 5 lines to really make it feel like a pentagon. It mixes the clear meaning, oaths, history lessons, human tests, and promises of the afterlife, with the numerical wonder, like the even-odd numbers in verse 3, linked to Phi through the 4-1 or 2-3 function. This poem is in Indonesian with a poetic feel, to show contemplation of a strong harmony, how creation, dawn, night, even odd, are signs of God's greatness. This forms the overall meaning of the surah, reminding people that the world is temporary, and that our purpose is to return to God with a peaceful soul. Pentagon Poem, Even Odd Dawn. Stanza 1, Oath of Dawn, literal meaning, divine oath. By the dawn, as its light begins to shine, 10 dark nights hold secrets, divine. Even and odd, a harmony so true, night passes by, a sign for the wise to view, an oath for hearts filled with wisdom's design. Stanza 2, Lessons from past nations, contemplative meaning, punishment for pride. Sea add with pillars reaching to the sky, Thamud carving rocks where valleys lie. Pharaoh with cruel powers harsh decree, they were unjust, spreading evil for all to see. God struck them down with painful agony. Stanza 3, The test of humanity, numerical wonder, even odd as Phi. Humans are tested, the rich say they're honored and high. The poor say God has let them fall and sigh. No, you don't respect the orphans, it's true. You don't invite to feed the hungry too. Loving wealth so much, forgetting the end is nigh. Stanza 4, The Day of Recompense, cohesive harmony, balance of creation. No, the earth will shake flat without form. God will come with angels in a mighty storm. Hell revealed, humans remember their sin. O Lord, I wish I had sent good deeds in. His punishment unmatched, no bond can warm. Stanza 5, The Peaceful Soul, overall meaning, purpose of existence. O peaceful soul, return in calm delight to your Lord, pleased and pleasing in his sight. Enter among my loyal servants. True, enter my paradise, eternal joy for you. This is the goal, faith, good deeds, home to the light. Contemplation, cohesive harmony and overall meaning, literal meaning plus numerical wonder, equal sign. Contemplative meaning, Surah Al-Fajar starts with an oath about creation, dawn, night, even odd, which are literally signs of God's power. The numerical wonder is seen in verse 3, by the even and the odd, which, as discussed in the concept book, is a math instruction for the golden ratio, Phi equal sign, 1 plus 5/2, where 5 comes from even 4 plus odd 1 or prime 2 plus 3. This creates a strong harmony. Even, symmetry, order, and odd, uniqueness, oneness, come together like Phi in a pentagon, galaxy spirals, or human body proportions, reminding us that the universe is created by measure. Quran, Al-Qamar 54:49. Overall meaning, why the purpose of existence? This surah shows the meaning of human existence as a temporary test. Wealth and poverty are just trials, not measures of honor. Past nations like Ad, Thamud, and Pharaoh were destroyed because of their pride, while humans often forget the afterlife, crave wealth, and ignore orphans and the poor. The strong harmony of the surah, from the oath of creation to punishment, trials, and the promise of heaven, confirms that existence is for contemplating God's signs, doing good deeds, and reaching a peaceful soul, nafs mutma'inah, that returns to him with pleasure. This breaks the illusion of worldly things, inviting us to walk on the earth and observe, Quran, Al-Ankabut 29:20, because everything leads to the day of recompense. The final goal is heaven, not fleeting wealth. This poem is not a direct translation but a poetic adaptation for contemplation, keeping the essence of the surah while highlighting its connection to Phi, like the 5-stanza structure. Pentagon Poems for all 114 surahs of the Quran. Surah 1, Al-Fatiha, 7 verses. The opening mercy guides pure hearts, praise and thanks to the Lord of all worlds, a prayer for guidance, avoiding wrong paths, the straight path leading to divine mercy. The Al-Fatiha Pentagon shines eternal oneness. Note, 7 verses, 7 heavens, 7 divided 1 equals 7, aligning with the Pentagon symmetry. Surah 2, Al-Baqarah, 286 verses. The Holy Book opens, bringing guidance, Adam's oneness against the rebellious devil, Abraham's trials strengthening the community's faith, Moses' law calling to the path of mercy. The Al-Baqarah Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 286 divided 2 equals 143, 1 plus 4 plus 3 equals 8, 8 gates of paradise. Surah 3, Ali Imran, 200 verses. The birth of Jesus, a sign of divine mercy, Oneness against the polytheism of rebellious people, Mary's patience forging pure faith, Allah's guidance uniting the people of the book, the Ali Imran Pentagon shines eternal faith. Note, 200 divided 5 equals 40, symbol of trial. Surah 4, An-Nisa, 176 verses. The justice of law upholding human rights, trials of wealth, testing the heart's faith, oneness leading against wrongdoing, Allah's mercy protecting orphans and widows, the An-Nisa Pentagon shines eternal justice. Note, 176 divided 8 equals 22, 2 plus 2 equals 4, 4 attributes of prophets. Surah 5, Al-Ma'idah, 120 verses. The divine covenant calls for obedience, Jesus' miracles strengthening the community's guidance, the prohibition of polytheism establishing oneness, perfect law bringing eternal mercy, the Al-Ma'idah Pentagon shines truth. Note, 120 divided 5 equals 24, 2 plus 4 equals 6, pillars of faith. Surah 6, Al-An'am, 165 verses. Allah's oneness calls heedless hearts, stories of prophets against rebellious polytheism, trials of faith testing truth, divine guidance bringing true mercy, the Al-An'am Pentagon shines pure guidance. Note, 165 divided 5 equals 33, 3 plus 3 equals 6, Surah 7, Al-Araf, 206 verses. Stories of prophets illuminating the path of truth, punishment befalling those who reject guidance, Adam's oneness shining at the peak of Araf, Allah's mercy saving the obedient, the Al-Araf Pentagon leads to oneness. Note, 206 divided 2 equals 103, 1 plus 0 plus 3 equals 4. Surah 8, Al-Anfal, 75 verses. The victory of Badr, a sign of divine mercy, trials of faith testing the community's loyalty, oneness calling for true unity, spoils of war arranged by pure law, the Al-Anfal Pentagon shines eternal faith. Note, 75 divided 5 equals 15, 1 plus 5 equals 6. Surah 9, At-Tawbah, 129 verses. The call to jihad invites truth, trials of hypocrites testing rebellious hearts, oneness purifying pure faith, Allah's mercy embracing those who repent, the At-Tawbah Pentagon shines divine guidance. Note, 129 divided 3 equals 43, 4 plus 3 equals 7. Surah 10, Yunus, 109 verses. The story of Jonah calling for true repentance, punishment delayed, Allah's mercy arrives, the prophet's oneness against the community's polytheism, divine guidance bringing truth, the Yunus Pentagon shines eternal faith. Note, 109, 19.5.74, comma, relating to the number 19, Code of Oneness. Surah 11, Hud, 123 verses. Stories of prophets calling for true oneness, punishment befalling those who reject guidance, Hud's patience against rebellious polytheism, Allah's mercy protecting the believers, the Hud Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 123 divided 3 equals 41, 4 plus 1 equals 5. Surah 12, Yusuf, 111 verses. Joseph's dream illuminating the path of truth, trials of the pit testing pure faith, prison forging strong oneness, the power of Egypt bringing family mercy, the Yusuf Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 111 divided 3 equals 37, 3 plus 7 equals 10, 1 plus 0 equals 1, oneness. Surah 13, Ar-Ra'd, 43 verses. Thunder praising Allah's greatness, trials of hearts rejecting divine revelation, oneness calling for pure truth, the mercy of rain nurturing true earth, the Ar-Ra'd Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 43 divided 1 equals 43, 4 plus 3 equals 7. Surah 14, Ibrahim, 52 verses. Abraham's prayer building a pure house, trials of polytheism testing the community's faith, his oneness firm against rebellion, Allah's mercy saving the obedient, the Ibrahim Pentagon shines eternal faith. Note, 52 divided 2 equals 26, 2 plus 6 equals 8, Surah 15, Al-Hijr, 99 verses. Stories of prophets calling for divine guidance, punishment befalling those who reject, Salih's oneness against hard hearts, Allah's mercy protecting the loyal, the Al-Hijr Pentagon shines pure truth. Note, 99 divided 3 equals 33, 3 plus 3 equals 6. Surah 16, An-Nahl, 128 verses. Allah's blessings spread across earth and sky, trials of polytheism testing human hearts, oneness calling for true gratitude, guidance of revelation bringing divine mercy, the An-Nahl Pentagon shines eternal love. Note, 128 divided 4 equals 32, 3 plus 2 equals 5. Surah 17, Al-Isra, 111 verses. The prophet's night journey to the pure heavens, trials of the community rejecting divine revelation, Moses' oneness calling for truth, divine guidance bringing true mercy. The Al-Isra Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 111 divided 3 equals 37, 3 plus 7 equals 10, 1 plus 0 equals 1. Surah 18, Al-Kahf, 110 verses. The story of the cave saving young faith, trials of the world testing pure hearts, Moses' oneness seeking divine knowledge, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient, the Al-Kahf Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 110 divided 5 equals 22, 2 plus 2 equals 4. Surah 19, Maryam, 98 verses. The birth of John, a sign of divine mercy, Mary's trials forging pure faith, Jesus' oneness against the community's polytheism, divine guidance embracing those who repent, the Maryam Pentagon shines eternal love. Note, 98 divided 2 equals 49, 4 plus 9 equals 13, 1 plus 3 equals 4. Surah 20, Taha, 135 verses. Moses' staff splitting the sea of truth, Pharaoh's trials against divine revelation, oneness calling heedless hearts, guidance of the Torah bringing true mercy, the Taha Pentagon shines eternal faith. Note, 135 divided 5 equals 27, 2 plus 7 equals 9. Surah 21, Al-Anbiya, 112 verses. Prophets calling for true oneness, trials of disbelief rejecting divine guidance, Abraham's miracles establishing truth, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient, the Al-Anbiya Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 112 divided 4 equals 28, relating to the number 28, Arabic letters, Surah 22, Al-Hajj, 78 verses. The call to pilgrimage to the pure house, trials of faith testing rebellious hearts, Abraham's oneness establishing law, Allah's mercy embracing the believers, the Al-Hajj Pentagon shines eternal faith. Note, 78 divided 3 equals 26, 2 plus 6 equals 8, Surah 23, Al-Mu'minun, 118 verses. The believer's faith calling for truth, trials of the world testing pure hearts, oneness establishing humble prayer, the mercy of paradise awaiting the obedient, the Al-Mu'minun Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 118 divided 2 equals 59, 5 plus 9 equals 14, 1 plus 4 equals 5, Surah 24, An-Nur, 64 verses. Allah's light illuminating believing hearts, trials of slander testing the community's purity, oneness calling for noble character, the mercy of law protecting the obedient, the An-Nur Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 64 divided 4 equals 16, 1 plus 6 equals 7. Surah 25, Al-Furqan, 77 verses. The Quran distinguishing truth from falsehood, trials of disbelief rejecting divine revelation, the Prophet's oneness calling for truth, Allah's mercy embracing those who repent, the Al-Furqan Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 77 divided 7 equals 11, 1 plus 1 equals 2, duality of faith. Surah 26, A.C. Shuara, 227 verses. Poetry of prophets illuminating the path of truth, punishment befalling those who reject. Moses' oneness against rebellious polytheism, Allah's mercy protecting the believers, the A.C. Shuara Pentagon shines pure guidance. Note, 227 divided 1 equals 227, 2 plus 7 equals 11, 1 plus 1 equals 2, Surah 27, An-Naml, 93 verses, Solomon's wisdom ruling the world, trials of polytheism testing the community's heart, oneness calling for divine truth, Allah's mercy embracing the obedient, the An-Naml Pentagon shines eternal faith. Note, 93 divided 3 equals 31, 3 plus 1 equals 4, Surah 28, Al-Qasas, 88 verses. The story of Moses calling for true guidance, Pharaoh's trials against truth, oneness establishing pure faith, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient, the Al-Qasas Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 88 divided 4 equals 22, 2 plus 2 equals 4, Surah 29, Al-Ankabut, 69 verses. Trials of faith testing believing hearts, spiders protecting the pure prophet, oneness calling for divine truth, Allah's mercy saving the obedient, the Al-Ankabut Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 69 divided 3 equals 23, 2 plus 3 equals 5, Surah 30, Ar-Rum, 60 verses. Signs of Allah spread across the universe, trials of disbelief rejecting divine revelation, oneness calling for true gratitude, Allah's mercy bringing victory, the Ar-Rum Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 60 divided 5 equals 12, 1 plus 2 equals 3, Divine Trinity. Surah 31, Luqman, 34 verses. Luqman's wisdom calling for truth, trials of the world testing pure hearts, oneness establishing divine counsel, Allah's mercy embracing the grateful, the Luqman Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 34 divided 2 equals 17, 1 plus 7 equals 8. Surah 32, As-Sajda, 30 verses. Night prostration purifying believing hearts, trials of disbelief rejecting pure revelation, oneness calling for divine truth, Allah's mercy awaiting the obedient, the As-Sajda Pentagon shines eternal faith. Note, 30 divided 5 equals 6, pillars of faith. Surah 33, Al-Azab, 73 verses. Unity of the community calling for truth, trials of hypocrites testing rebellious hearts, the Prophet's oneness establishing faith, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient, the Al-Azab Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 73 divided 1 equals 73, 7 plus 3 equals 10, 1 plus 0 equals 1. Surah 34, Saba, 54 verses. Allah's blessings upon the people of Saba, trials of disbelief rejecting divine mercy, oneness calling for true gratitude, Allah's mercy embracing those who repent, the Saba Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 54 divided 3 equals 18, 1 plus 8 equals 9. Surah 35, Fatir, 45 verses. Allah's creation calling for truth, trials of disbelief testing human hearts, oneness establishing pure faith, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient, the Fatir Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 45 divided 5 equals 9. Surah 36, Yasin, 83 verses. The heart of the Quran calling for true guidance, trials of disbelief, rejecting divine revelation, the Prophet's oneness establishing truth, Allah's mercy embracing the believers, the Yasin Pentagon shines eternal faith. Note, 83 divided 1 equals 83, 8 plus 3 equals 11, 1 plus 1 equals 2. Surah 37, As-Safat, 182 verses. Rows of angels praising pure Allah, trials of disbelief opposing divine prophets, Abraham's oneness establishing truth, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient, the As-Safat Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 182 divided 2 equals 91, 9 plus 1 equals 10, 1 plus 0 equals 1. Surah 38, Sad, 88 verses. Sacred letters calling for divine guidance, trials of disbelief rejecting true revelation, David's oneness establishing truth, Allah's mercy embracing those who repent, the Sad Pentagon shines eternal faith. Note, 88 divided 4 equals 22, 2 plus 2 equals 4. Surah 39, Az-Zumar, 75 verses. Oneness calling heedless hearts, trials of the world testing pure faith, sincere worship establishing truth, the mercy of paradise awaiting the obedient, the Az-Zumar Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 75 divided 5 equals 15, 1 plus 5 equals 6. Surah 40, Ghafir, 85 verses. Allah's forgiveness opening guidance, trials of disbelief opposing divine revelation, the Prophet's oneness calling for truth, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient, the Ghafir Pentagon shines eternal faith. Note, 85 divided 5 equals 17, 1 plus 7 equals 8. Surah 41, Fasalat, 54 verses. The detailed Quran calling for guidance, trials of disbelief rejecting pure revelation, oneness establishing true faith, Allah's mercy embracing those who repent, the Fasalat Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 54 divided 3 equals 18, 1 plus 8 equals 9. Surah 42, AC Surah, 53 verses. Consultation calling for divine truth, trials of disbelief testing human hearts, oneness establishing pure faith, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient, the Asi Surah Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 53 divided 1 equals 53, 5 plus 3 equals 8. Surah 43, Az-Zukhruf, 89 verses. Worldly luxury deceiving heedless hearts, trials of disbelief, rejecting divine revelation, oneness calling for true truth, Allah's mercy embracing the believers, the Az-Zukhruf Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 89 divided 1 equals 89, 8 plus 9 equals 17, 1 plus 7 equals 8. Surah 44, Ad-Dukhan, 59 verses. The sign of smoke calling for divine guidance, trials of disbelief opposing pure revelation, oneness establishing true faith, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient, the Ad-Dukhan Pentagon shines eternal faith. Note, 59 divided 1 equals 59, 5 plus 9 equals 14, 1 plus 4 equals 5. Surah 45, Al-Jathiyah, 37 verses. Allah's greatness calling pure hearts, trials of disbelief rejecting divine revelation, oneness establishing true truth, Allah's mercy embracing those who repent, the Al-Jathiyah Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 37 divided 1 equals 37, 3 plus 7 equals 10, 1 plus 0 equals 1. Surah 46, Al-Aqaf, 35 verses. The sandy wind calling for divine guidance, trials of disbelief opposing pure prophets, Hud's oneness establishing truth, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient, The Al-Aqaf Pentagon shines eternal faith. Note, 35 divided 5 equals 7. Surah 47, Muhammad, 38 verses. The Prophet's jihad calling for truth, trials of hypocrites testing rebellious hearts, oneness establishing pure faith, Allah's mercy embracing the believers. The Muhammad Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 38 divided 2 equals 19, code of oneness. Surah 48, Al-Fath, 29 verses. The victory of Mecca, a sign of divine mercy. Trials of faith testing believing hearts, oneness calling for true unity. Allah's mercy protecting the obedient. The Al-Fath Pentagon shines eternal faith. Note, 29 divided 1 equals 29, 2 plus 9 equals 11, 1 plus 1 equals 2. Surah 49, Al-Hujurat, 18 verses. Etiquette of the community calling for truth. Trials of slander testing pure hearts, oneness establishing divine unity. Allah's mercy embracing the believers. The Al-Hujurat Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 18 divided 3 equals 6, pillars of faith. Surah 50, Qaf, 45 verses. Sacred letters calling for divine guidance. Trials of disbelief, rejecting true revelation. Oneness establishing pure faith. Allah's mercy protecting the obedient. The Qaf Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 45 divided 5 equals 9. Surah 51, Az-Zariyat, 60 verses. Winds blowing calling for truth, trials of disbelief opposing divine revelation. The Prophet's oneness establishing guidance, Allah's mercy embracing the believers. The Az-Zariyat Pentagon shines eternal faith. Note, 60 divided 5 equals 12, 1 plus 2 equals 3. Surah 52, At-Tur, 49 verses. The sacred mountain calling for divine guidance, trials of disbelief rejecting true revelation. Oneness establishing pure faith, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient. The At-Tur Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 49 divided 7 equals 7. Surah 53, An-Najm, 62 verses. The sacred star calling for truth, trials of disbelief opposing divine revelation. The Prophet's oneness establishing guidance, Allah's mercy embracing the believers. The An-Najm Pentagon shines eternal faith. Note, 62 divided 2 equals 31, 3 plus 1 equals 4. Surah 54, Al-Qamar, 55 verses. The moon split, a sign of divine miracle. Trials of disbelief rejecting true revelation. Oneness establishing pure truth. Allah's mercy protecting the obedient. The Al-Qamar Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 55 divided 5 equals 11, 1 plus 1 equals 2. Surah 55, Ar-Rahman, 78 verses. Allah's blessings spread across the universe, trials of disbelief ignoring divine mercy. Oneness calling for true gratitude, paradise awaiting the obedient believers. The Ar-Rahman Pentagon shines eternal love. Note, 78 divided 3 equals 26, 2 plus 6 equals 8. Surah 56, Al-Waqiyah, 96 verses. The Day of Judgment calling for truth, trials of faith dividing 3 groups. Oneness establishing pure hearts, the mercy of paradise embracing the believers. The Al-Waqiyah Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 96 divided 4 equals 24, 2 plus 4 equals 6. Surah 57, Al-Hadid, 29 verses. Iron calling for strength of faith, trials of disbelief opposing divine revelation. Oneness establishing true guidance. Allah's mercy protecting the obedient. The Al-Hadid Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 29 divided 1 equals 29, 2 plus 9 equals 11, 1 plus 1 equals 2. Surah 58, Al-Mujadila, 22 verses. The woman's voice calling for divine justice, trials of slander testing pure hearts, oneness establishing true faith, Allah's mercy embracing the believers. The Al-Mujadila Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 22 divided 2 equals 11, 1 plus 1 equals 2. Surah 59, Al-Hasir, 24 verses. The expulsion calling for divine truth, trials of hypocrites testing rebellious hearts, oneness establishing pure faith, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient. The Al-Hasir Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 24 divided 4 equals 6, pillars of faith. Surah 60, Al-Mumtahana, 13 verses. Trials of faith calling for loyalty, prohibition of enemies testing pure hearts, oneness establishing divine truth, Allah's mercy embracing the believers. The Al-Mumtahana Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 13 divided 1 equals 13, 1 plus 3 equals 4. Surah 61, As-Saf, 14 verses. Rows of faith calling for truth, trials of disbelief opposing divine revelation, oneness establishing true guidance, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient. The As-Saf Pentagon shines eternal faith. Note, 14 divided 2 equals 7. Surah 62, Al-Jumu'ah, 11 verses. Friday prayer calling for divine guidance, trials of the world testing believing hearts, oneness establishing pure truth, Allah's mercy embracing the obedient, the Al-Jumu'ah Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 11 divided 1 equals 11, 1 plus 1 equals 2, Surah 63, Al-Munafiqun, 11 verses. Hypocrisy deceiving rebellious hearts, trials of faith calling for truth, oneness establishing true guidance, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient, the Al-Munafiqun Pentagon shines eternal faith. Note, 11 divided 1 equals 11, 1 plus 1 equals 2, Surah 64, at Tagabun, 18 verses, the Day of Judgment calling for divine guidance, trials of the world testing believing hearts, oneness establishing pure truth, Allah's mercy embracing the obedient, the At-Tagabun Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 18 divided 3 equals 6, Surah 65, at Talaq 12 verses, the law of divorce calling for divine justice, trials of hearts testing pure faith, oneness establishing true guidance, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient, the At-Talaq Pentagon shines eternal truth. Note, 12 divided 2 equals 6, Surah 66, At-Tahrim, 12 verses, etiquette of the home calling for divine guidance, trials of slander testing believing hearts, oneness establishing pure truth, Allah's mercy embracing the obedient, the At-Tahrim Pentagon shines eternal faith. Note, 12 divided 2 equals 6, Surah 67, Al-Mulk, 30 verses, Allah's greatness calling pure hearts, trials of disbelief opposing divine revelation, oneness establishing true truth, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient, the Al-Mulk Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 30 divided 5 equals 6, Surah 68, Al-Kalam, 52 verses. The sacred pen calling for divine guidance, trials of disbelief rejecting true revelation, the Prophet's oneness establishing truth, Allah's mercy embracing the believers, the Al-Kalam Pentagon shines eternal faith. Note, 52 divided 4 equals 13, 1 plus 3 equals 4, Surah 69, Al-Haqqa, 52 verses. The Day of Judgment calling for truth, trials of disbelief opposing divine revelation, oneness establishing true guidance, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient, the Al-Haqqa Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 52 divided 4 equals 13, 1 plus 3 equals 4, Surah 70, Al-Ma'arij, 44 verses, stairs to heaven calling for divine guidance, trials of disbelief, rejecting true revelation, oneness establishing pure truth, Allah's mercy embracing the believers, the Al-Ma'arij Pentagon shines eternal faith. Note, 44 divided 4 equals 11, 1 plus 1 equals 2, Surah 71, New, 28 verses, Noah's call inviting true oneness, trials of disbelief opposing divine revelation, oneness establishing pure truth, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient, the new Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 28 divided 4 equals 7 relating to the number 28, Arabic letters, Surah 72, Al-Jinn, 28 verses, believing jinn calling for divine guidance, trials of disbelief rejecting true revelation, the Prophet's oneness establishing truth, Allah's mercy embracing the obedient, the Al-Jinn Pentagon shines eternal faith. Note, 28 divided 4 equals 7, Surah 73, Al-Muzammil, 20 verses, night prayer calling for divine guidance, trials of the world testing believing hearts, oneness establishing pure truth, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient, the Al-Muzammil Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 20 divided 5 equals 4, Surah 74, Al-Mudaththir, 56 verses, the call of revelation inviting truth, trials of disbelief opposing divine guidance, oneness establishing pure faith, Allah's mercy embracing the believers, the Al-Mudaththir Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 56 divided 4 equals 14, 1 plus 4 equals 5, Surah 75, Al-Qiyamah, 40 verses, the Day of Resurrection calling for divine guidance, trials of disbelief rejecting true revelation, oneness establishing pure truth, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient, the Al-Qiyamah Pentagon shines eternal faith. Note, 40 divided 5 equals 8, Surah 76, Al-Insan, 31 verses, the blessings of paradise calling for divine guidance, trials of the world testing believing hearts, oneness establishing pure truth, Allah's mercy embracing the obedient, the Al-Insan Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 31 divided 1 equals 31, 3 plus 1 equals 4. Surah 77, Al-Mursalat, 50 verses, signs of wind calling for truth, trials of disbelief opposing divine revelation, oneness establishing true guidance, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient, the Al-Mursalat Pentagon shines eternal faith. Note, 50 divided 5 equals 10, 1 plus 0 equals 1. Surah 78, An-Naba, 40 verses, news of the Day of Judgment calling for divine guidance, trials of disbelief rejecting true revelation, oneness establishing pure truth, Allah's mercy embracing the believers, The Anaba Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 40 divided 5 equals 8, Surah 79, An-Naziat, 46 verses. Angels pulling out souls calling for truth, trials of disbelief opposing divine revelation, oneness establishing true guidance, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient, the An-Naziat Pentagon shines eternal faith. Note, 46 divided 2 equals 23, 2 plus 3 equals 5, Surah 80, Abasa, 42 verses. Divine rebuke calling for true guidance, trials of hearts rejecting pure revelation, oneness establishing divine truth, Allah's mercy embracing the believers, the Abasa Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 42 divided 3 equals 14, 1 plus 4 equals 5, Surah 81, At-Takwir, 29 verses. The sun being wound up calling for truth, trials of the day of judgment, testing believing hearts, oneness establishing true guidance, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient, the At-Takwir Pentagon shines eternal faith. Note, 29 divided 1 equals 29, 2 plus 9 equals 11, 1 plus 1 equals 2, Surah 82, Al-Infitar, 19 verses. The sky splitting calling for divine guidance, trials of the day of judgment opposing pure hearts, oneness establishing true truth, Allah's mercy embracing the believers, the Al-Infitar Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 19 divided 1 equals 19, code of oneness, Surah 83, Al-Mutaffifin, 36 verses. Cheating in weights calling for justice, trials of disbelief opposing divine revelation, oneness establishing true guidance, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient, the Al-Mutaffifin Pentagon shines eternal faith. Note, 36 divided 4 equals 9. Surah 84, Al-Insiakak, 25 verses. The sky opening calling for truth, trials of the day of judgment testing believing hearts, oneness establishing true guidance, Allah's mercy embracing the obedient, the Al-Insiakak Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 25 divided 5 equals 5, Pentagon, Surah 85, Al-Buruj, 22 verses. Stars calling for divine guidance, trials of disbelief opposing true revelation, oneness establishing pure faith, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient, the Al-Buruj Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 22 divided 2 equals 11, 1 plus 1 equals 2, Surah 86, At-Tariq, 17 verses. The night star calling for truth, trials of disbelief opposing divine revelation, oneness establishing true guidance, Allah's mercy embracing the believers, the At-Tariq Pentagon shines eternal faith. Note, 17 divided 1 equals 17, 1 plus 7 equals 8, Surah 87, Al-Allah, 19 verses. Praise of Allah calling for divine guidance, trials of disbelief rejecting true revelation, oneness establishing pure truth, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient, the Al-Allah Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 19 divided 1 equals 19, code of oneness, Surah 88, Al-Ghasiyah, 26 verses. The day of judgment calling for truth, trials of disbelief opposing divine revelation, oneness establishing true guidance, Allah's mercy embracing the believers, the Al-Ghasiyah Pentagon shines eternal faith. Note, 26 divided 2 equals 13, 1 plus 3 equals 4, Surah 89, Al-Fajr, 30 verses. The sacred dawn calling for divine guidance, trials of disbelief rejecting true revelation, oneness establishing pure truth, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient, the Al-Fajr Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 30 divided 5 equals 6, Surah 90, Al-Balad, 20 verses. The sacred city calling for divine guidance, trials of the world testing believing hearts, oneness establishing true truth, Allah's mercy embracing the obedient, the Al-Balad Pentagon shines eternal faith. Note, 20 divided 5 equals 4, Surah 91, AC Siams, 15 verses. The sacred sun calling for truth, trials of disbelief opposing divine revelation, oneness establishing true guidance, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient, the AC Siams Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 15 divided 3 equals 5, Surah 92, Al-Layl, 21 verses. The sacred night calling for divine guidance, trials of the world testing believing hearts, oneness establishing true truth, Allah's mercy embracing the obedient, the Al-Layl Pentagon shines eternal faith. Note, 21 divided 3 equals 7, Surah 93, Ad-Duha, 11 verses. The morning light calling for divine guidance, trials of hardship testing the prophet's heart, oneness establishing pure truth, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient, the Ad-Duha Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 11 divided 1 equals 11, 1 plus 1 equals 2, Surah 94, As-Syar, 8 verses. The opening of the heart calling for truth, trials of hardship testing the prophet's faith, oneness establishing true guidance, Allah's mercy embracing the believers, the As-Syar Pentagon shines eternal faith. Note, 8 divided 2 equals 4, Surah 95, At-Tin, 8 verses. The fig fruit calling for divine guidance, trials of disbelief opposing truth, oneness establishing pure faith, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient, the Atin Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 8 divided 2 equals 4, Surah 96, Al-Alaq, 19 verses. The sacred reading calling for divine guidance, trials of disbelief, rejecting true revelation, oneness establishing pure truth, Allah's mercy embracing the believers, the Al-Alaq Pentagon shines eternal faith. Note, 19 divided 1 equals 19, Code of Oneness. Surah 97, Al-Qadr, 5 verses, the Night of Power calling for divine guidance, trials of the world testing believing hearts, oneness establishing true truth, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient, the Al-Qadr Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 5 divided 1 equals 5, Pentagon. Surah 98, Al-Bayyinah, 8 verses, clear proof calling for truth, trials of disbelief opposing divine revelation, oneness establishing true guidance, Allah's mercy embracing the believers, the Al-Bayyinah Pentagon shines eternal faith. Note, 8 divided 2 equals 4, Surah 99, Az-Zalzala, 8 verses, the earthquake of the day of judgment calling for divine guidance, trials of the world testing believing hearts, oneness establishing true truth, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient, the Az-Zalzala Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 8 divided 2 equals 4, Surah 100, Al-Adiyat, 11 verses, war horses calling for truth, trials of the world testing pure hearts, oneness establishing true guidance, Allah's mercy embracing the believers, the Al-Adiyat Pentagon shines eternal faith. Note, 11 divided 1 equals 11, 1 plus 1 equals 2, Surah 101, Al-Qariya, 11 verses. The striking calamity calling for divine guidance, trials of the world, testing believing hearts, oneness establishing true truth, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient, the Al-Qariya Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 11 divided 1 equals 11, 1 plus 1 equals 2, Surah 102, At-Takathur, 8 verses, worldly abundance deceiving heedless hearts, trials of disbelief opposing divine guidance, oneness establishing true truth, Allah's mercy embracing the believers, the At-Takathur Pentagon shines eternal faith. Note, 8 divided 2 equals 4, Surah 103, Al-Asr, 3 verses. The sacred time calling for divine guidance, trials of the world testing believing hearts, oneness establishing true truth, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient, the Al-Asr Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 3 divided 1 equals 3, Divine Trinity. Surah 104, Al-Humazah, 9 verses. Slander of the tongue calling for truth, trials of disbelief opposing divine guidance, oneness establishing pure faith, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient, the Al-Humazah Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 9 divided 3 equals 3, Surah 105, Al-Fil, 5 verses. The rebellious elephant calling for divine guidance, trials of disbelief opposing truth, oneness establishing pure faith, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient, the Al-Fil Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 5 divided 1 equals 5, Pentagon, Surah 106, Quraysh, 4 verses. Blessings of Quraysh calling for divine guidance, trials of disbelief opposing truth, oneness establishing pure faith, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient, the Quraysh Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 4 divided 1 equals 4, 4 attributes of prophets. Surah 107, Al-Ma'un, 7 verses. Small kindness calling for divine guidance, trials of disbelief opposing truth, oneness establishing pure faith, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient, the Al-Ma'un Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 7 divided 1 equals 7. Surah 108, Al-Kawthar, 3 verses. The river of paradise calling for divine guidance, trials of disbelief opposing truth, oneness establishing pure faith, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient, the Al-Kawthar Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 3 divided 1 equals 3. Surah 109, Al-Kafirun, 6 verses. Pure oneness calling for truth, trials of disbelief opposing divine guidance, pure worship establishing faith, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient, the Al-Kafirun Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 6 divided 2 equals 3. Surah 110, An-Nasr, 3 verses. The victory of Islam calling for divine guidance, trials of disbelief opposing truth, oneness establishing pure faith, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient, the An-Nasr Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 3 divided 1 equals 3. Surah 111, Al-Masad, 5 verses. The punishment of rebellion calling for truth, trials of disbelief opposing divine guidance, oneness establishing pure faith, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient, the Al-Masad Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 5 divided 1 equals 5. Pentagon, Surah 112, Al-Ikhlas, 4 verses, Allah's oneness calling pure hearts, polytheism rejected by divine revelation, the oneness of God establishing faith, pure guidance bringing true mercy, the Al-Ikhlas Pentagon shines eternal truth. Note, 4 divided 1 equals 4, 4 attributes of prophets, Surah 113, Al-Falaq, 5 verses. Allah's protection calling for guidance, trials of magic opposing truth, oneness establishing pure faith, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient, the Al-Falaq Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 5 divided 1 equals 5, Pentagon, Surah 114, An-Nas, 6 verses, Allah's protection calling for guidance, trials of Satan opposing truth, oneness establishing pure faith, Allah's mercy protecting the obedient, the An-Nas Pentagon shines eternal guidance. Note, 6 divided 2 equals 3, general relationship with the Quranic Pentagon system, 5-line structure, each poem contains 5 lines, reflecting the 5 sides of a pentagon, aligning with the number 5 pillars of Islam daily prayers in the Quranic Pentagon system. The 5th line always uses Pentagon of Surah name to connect with oneness and divine harmony. Numerical, ijazadati. The number of verses in a surah is linked to numbers like 5, 19, Code of Oneness, Surah Al-Mudaththir, 30, 25, 52, Total Prophets, or 28, Arabic letters. Example, 114 surahs equal sign 19x6, emphasizing the numerical miracle of the Quran. Geometry. The pentagon symbolizes the perfect structure of the surah, with the golden ratio, Phi 1.618, reflecting the beauty of the verses, like the Islamic art mosaic in the pentagon geometry map, 525, 114, 6236. Oneness, Tawheed. Each poem emphasizes oneness as a core theme, aligning with the book's philosophy that connects stories of prophets, law, and guidance with the oneness of Allah. Notes for users. The Pentagon poems for all 114 surahs of the Quran have been generated in a concise format, with brief notes on the numerical and pentagonal relationships for each surah. Each poem follows a 5-line structure reflecting narrative phases, beginning, trial, struggle, mercy, oneness, aligning with the Pentagon's symmetry and the philosophy of the Quranic Pentagon system. If you need further customization, please specify in-depth analysis. For example, detailed narrative phases or ijaz-adadi connections for specific surahs, for example Surah Al-Ikhlas Ar-Rahman. Focus on specific surahs, for example advanced analysis for Surah Yusuf, Al-Kahf, or others. Table of narrative phases. A list of themes and narrative phases for all 114 surahs without the full poems. Customization format, for example poems arranged in a table or grouped by Makkiyya Madaniyya surahs. Additional poems or edits. If you want specific poems reviewed or changed, please provide feedback for customization or continuation. Have you ever noticed the perfect spiral of a seashell? How its curves seem to follow a mysterious, almost magical order? Or the intricate, delicate design of a snowflake, each one unique yet following a precise geometric blueprint? Our world is filled with beautiful, purposeful patterns, hidden designs that repeat across nature, from the honeycomb's hexagons to the spirals of sunflower seeds and the rings inside ancient trees. These patterns are not random, they are signs of a magnificent creator, evidence of a wisdom that shapes everything with intention and care. Now imagine if the Holy Quran itself held such hidden patterns. A structure so mathematically precise and harmonious, it reveals a deeper layer of divine wisdom, waiting to be discovered by those who seek. Beyond its guidance and comfort, the Quran may contain a hidden architecture, a subtle order that reflects Allah's role as Al-Musawwir, the shaper of beauty, who brings symmetry and balance to all things. Could the same divine order found in the spirals of galaxies and the petals of flowers also exist in the Quran's very structure? The answer, as we'll see, is yes, there is a remarkable connection. We're about to embark on a journey to uncover one such pattern, a journey that invites us to see the Quran with new eyes, to look beyond the surface and discover the miraculous design within its verses. This is not about changing its meaning, but about appreciating its miraculous nature from a fresh perspective, deepening our awe and connection to the divine message. Let's begin this adventure together, with open hearts and minds, and say, Bismillah. What is this hidden pattern? It's called the Pentagon Poetry Project. This project maps out the story of all 114 chapters of the Quran using a mix of poetry, math, shapes, and religious ideas. At its heart is a simple idea. The main message of every chapter can be seen as a pentagon, a shape with 5 points. Each point shows an important step in the chapter's spiritual journey. By making each chapter into a 5-line poem, we create a clear structure that shows the common story of how we connect with Allah. The number 5 is important, like the 5 daily prayers and the 5 main practices of Islam. The pentagon shape stands for being whole and united, showing how every chapter fits into a big plan. We're not adding to the Quran but using a new way to admire how deep it is. It's an invitation to find the beauty and amazing detail in what Allah has revealed. Let's take a closer look at this method. For each chapter, we write a 5-line poem. Each line follows a common story: beginning, trial, struggle, mercy, and oneness with God. Think of a pentagon. Each point is a step in the journey, making the chapter's message clear and easy to remember. This way of looking at things is like our own lives. We start, face challenges, work hard, hope for kindness, and try to be one with God. The Quran tells this 5-part story in 114 different ways. This method isn't just about making things shorter, it's about finding the main spiritual idea in each chapter. Sometimes the pattern is easy to see, sometimes it's not, but this way of thinking helps us look deeper. It helps us understand why each chapter is there. We go beyond just reading words to understanding the spiritual journey God is teaching us. Let's take a closer look at the 5 points of the Pentagon, a shape that has fascinated thinkers and wise people for centuries. Each point holds a deeper meaning, and together, they form a strong symbol of growing spiritually. These 5 points can be seen as the 5 lines of our poem, each line showing a different step in the journey of faith. The first point is the beginning, the moment something starts, the spark that gets everything going. It's where the surah's message comes from, the seed from which meaning grows. Next comes the trial, a challenge or test that moves the story forward, asking us to face difficulties and things we're not sure about. The third point is the struggle, the human effort, the never giving up, and the inner fight that comes after the trial. It's about not giving up, about holding on to faith even when the path is hard and the end is unclear. Fourth is mercy, Allah's kindness and help, the turning point where hard times get easier and hope comes back. Mercy is the gentle hand that picks us up when we stumble. Finally, divine unity, Tawheed, the ultimate understanding that all things, all stories, and all journeys go back to Allah alone. These 5 steps are not random. They form a complete cycle of faith, each one naturally leading to the next. This cycle mirrors our own journey with Allah, as we move from beginnings through trials and struggles to mercy and unity. The Pentagon is a closed shape with no loose ends or unfinished lines, showing how complete and whole this spiritual journey is, where every experience has its place. Each surah, no matter how long or complicated it is, fits perfectly into this deep structure, showing the same pattern of growing, facing challenges, and returning. The pattern is not just a fancy way of writing, it's a spiritual map, guiding us from our humble beginnings to finally recognizing Allah's oneness and greatness. This way of looking at it lets us see the Quran as one connected message, not just a bunch of separate stories, but a beautiful cloth woven with divine wisdom. It's a map for our own spiritual journey, a guide for every believer looking for meaning and direction. The circle is complete, and we are left amazed by Allah's perfect plan, wondering at the beauty and harmony in His words. The Pentagon Poetry Project also looks at the language of numbers in the Quran. Numbers aren't just for counting, they often have a special meaning, like signs from God. When we think about how many verses are in each surah, we sometimes find connections that help us understand more. For example, the number 7 often means something is complete, while 40 means a big change. These numbers are part of a special language God uses throughout His message. When the meaning of the verse count matches what the surah is about, it really shows that God planned it all perfectly. Looking at these numbers helps us appreciate the Quran's structure even more. It's like finding a secret key that opens up new understanding. All praise to God for the miracle of the Quran. Let's see this in action with some of the most famous chapters from the Quran, and discover how their structure and numbers show us hidden layers of meaning. Surah Al-Fatiha, the opening chapter, has 7 verses. This stands for spiritual completion and being whole, much like the 7 days of creation or the 7 heavens mentioned in the Quran. Its Pentagon poem unfolds in 5 steps. Praise begins, guidance is looked for, the path is picked, kindness is given, and all praise goes back to Allah. Each part shows a step in our spiritual journey, making Al-Fatiha a small version of the whole Quran. Surah Al-Kahf, with its 110 verses, hints at the many tough times and problems we face in life, showing the ups and downs of life itself. Its poem is made from 4 stories: faith, money, smarts, and power, each one showing a different test. All these stories finally help us see Allah's forever kingdom and how important it is to be strong. Surah Yasin, with 83 verses, where 8 plus 3 equals 11, a number often linked to tests and changes, takes us on a journey from not believing to being sure about rising again and Allah's endless power. It's a chapter that calms the heart and makes faith stronger. Surah Ar-Rahman, with 78 verses, beautifully mixes the meaning of the heavens, 7, and paradise, 8. The most merciful teaches, tests thankfulness, describes the wonders of paradise, and ends with Allah's never-ending greatness, inviting us to think about His countless good things. Surah Al-Ikhlas, even though it's just 4 verses, is the very core of faith. It says God is one, rejects all partners, holds pure belief, gets kindness, and says Allah is forever. In its short length, it has the main idea of believing in one God. Even the shortest chapters, no matter how short they are, fit perfectly into this 5-part structure, showing the Quran's amazing consistency and depth. These examples show how the Pentagon pattern and using numbers work together, showing deeper meanings and connections that might not be noticed otherwise. Each chapter becomes a journey, starting with an opening, then a test, a struggle, kindness arriving, and finally, being one with the divine message. This structure is found everywhere in the Quran, yet each chapter is special in its message, style, and spiritual effect. This way of understanding helps us remember, think about, and truly get the Quran's message, making it easier to use its wisdom in our daily lives. It's a powerful tool for building a deeper connection and understanding, letting us connect with the Quran in a more meaningful way. The Quran's beauty is not just in its words, but in how it's built by God, its structure, patterns, and how form and meaning fit together. Every chapter is a world of wisdom, a universe of guidance, waiting to be explored and understood by those who look for knowledge. The miracle is truly in the small details, each letter, each number, and each pattern, all pointing to where the Quran came from, which is God. The Pentagon Poetry Project didn't stop at 5 points. We found even deeper layers, adding 5 new dimensions: essence, balance, test, ascension, and eternity. These go along with the first 5, giving us a more big-picture, thoughtful way of looking at things. Essence connects to beginning, balance to trial, test to struggle, ascension to mercy, and eternity to divine unity. This 10-part system helps us look at things in a richer, more complete way. It's like going from regular TV to high definition. You see more details and more depth. A chapter can speak to us both as a story and as a deep idea. This 2-part system shows even more of how amazing the Quran is. The same chapter can teach us a story and a truth that lasts forever. The Quran's wisdom truly has many sides. With this 10-sided way of looking at things, we can put the chapters into groups based on their main ideas. 5 main groups show up: cosmic chapters, about signs in the universe; historical chapters, stories of prophets; law-giving chapters, rules and advice; end-time chapters, about the life after death; and cleansing chapters, making your spirit better. Cosmic chapters, like Ar-Rahman, start with creation and end with wonder for the Creator. Historical chapters, like Al-Kahf, tell the stories of prophets and their people. Law-giving chapters, like Al-Baqarah, are all about God's rules and building a fair community. End-time chapters focus on the last day and what comes after. Cleansing chapters talk about the inner state of your soul. These groups show that the Quran is one complete book covering every part of life. The Pentagon poems help us see these patterns clearly. The Quran's message is complete, connected, and perfectly even. We've looked at the Quran in a new way, through poetry, shapes, and numbers. The Pentagon Poetry Project is a small try to really value the amazingness of Allah's words. The way it's put together is a message itself, showing us a book that's perfectly balanced. This journey should make us want to find beautiful patterns and order in everything we learn. The world is full of clues for those who think deeply. Let this be a start. Read the Quran with your heart and mind and take that spirit of finding new things out into the world. If there's so much wisdom hidden in the Quran, what else is Allah showing us? And are we really paying attention? Here's the transcript from the provided source. Have you ever thought about looking for, hidden patterns, real beauty deep inside ancient texts? It's a fascinating idea, isn't it? Yeah. And what if someone actually tried to weave poetry, math, and theology to find a whole new way of understanding? Sounds super ambitious. Well, today we're diving deep into exactly that kind of project. It's called Pentagon Poetry for all 114 surahs of the Quran. Meticulously organized stuff, that's right. And it's important to understand this isn't just poetry, it's not just verses, okay? It's a systematic framework. It uses geometric principles, numerical ideas, for each of the 114 surahs of the Quran. Like this, wow, all 114, all of them. So our mission today is to explore this system, help you grasp its insights, how much thought went into it, and this deep dive, it's really tailored for you if you're a curious learner. We want to give you a kind of shortcut to understanding this incredible project. And the connections are sometimes surprising. Let's get into it. All right, let's break this down. So, at its core, Pentagon Poetry takes the primary text of Islam, the Quran, revered by billions. And it applies this incredibly consistent structure to all 114 chapters or surahs. Is that right? So, no matter how long the chapter is or what its theme is, each one is distilled into a concise 5-line poem. And what's really fascinating here, I think, is how those 5 lines directly mirror the 5 sides of a pentagon. Creating a symbolic connection, a very powerful one. Yeah. And these lines, they're not just randomly chosen, they follow a very specific narrative progression, a kind of universal framework for every surah. Okay, that makes sense, 5 lines, 5 sides of a pentagon. But how do they ensure it's consistent across all 114? Is there a set meaning for each line? Yes, absolutely. There's a fixed progression. That's what makes it so systematic. Walk us through that. What does each line represent? Okay, so the 5 phases or lines are: the first line is called Permuline, which means beginning. It captures the initial revelation or the core theme. Got it? Beginning. The second is Gakati, which signifies the trial, the challenges, the tests encountered within the surah's narrative or message. Okay, trial makes sense. The third is Paranjan. That's struggle. It details the active effort, maybe conflict, the striving. Struggle, right? The fourth is Rat. That means grace or mercy. This represents divine intervention, blessings, that kind of thing. Grace, mercy, the turn towards a resolution, maybe in a way, yes. And then finally the 5th line is Tawheed, which is divine unity. The ultimate message of God's oneness. Tawheed, divine unity. And this 5th line, it always concludes with the same phrase structure. Pentagon surah name Burskar concept abadi, which means Pentagon surah name shines concept eternally. So it brings it back to that core concept linked to the specific surah, shining forever. Wow, that consistent 5th line really drives home that message of divine unity, doesn't it? It absolutely does. It serves as this crucial unifying anchor for the entire work. Very intentional. So we've got the poetic backbone, 5 lines, pentagon shape, consistent themes. But you mentioned there's more. What if this framework isn't just about the words? What if the numbers, the shapes woven into the text itself, hold deeper secrets? Exactly, that's where this idea of ijaz comes in. It adds this whole other, really quite astonishing layer. The ijaz numerical miracles, that's the term they use. Yes, numerical miracles. This project meticulously integrates mathematical principles, okay? And the idea behind ijaz suggests that these numerical patterns aren't just coincidences, right? But that they're divinely embedded, like a testament to the Quran's unique origin, its divine authorship. So the numbers themselves are part of the message, that's the assertion. And the pentagon itself, in geometry often symbolizes structural perfection, harmony. The system even brings in the golden ratio, a famous number of about 1.618. Ah, the golden ratio, you see that everywhere in nature and art, exactly. And they propose it's intricately woven into the beauty of the verses here too, creating what they call a pentagon geometric map, a geometric map. Based on the golden ratio within the Quran. Yeah, it's like finding this universal design principle reflected right inside the text. So numbers aren't just counts in this view, they're more like clues to meaning, almost like a sacred code. Clues is a good word, or signposts. The project reveals really fascinating connections using different numerical methods, division, summing digits, that sort of thing, to derive symbolic numbers. Can you give us an example? How does the verse count connect? Sure. Let's take Fatiha, the opening chapter. It has 7 verses. Okay, 7 verses. This is directly linked in the project to the 7 celestial realms mentioned elsewhere in the Quran, and the calculation is simple. 7 divided by 1 equals 7, seen as signifying divine perfection. Interesting. Just 7 verses linked to 7 realms. Or a more complex one, Surah Al-Baqarah. It's long, 286 verses, right? Here the project does a calculation. 286 divided by 2 equals 143. Okay. Then they sum the digits of 143. So 1 plus 4 plus 3 equals 8. And what does 8 connect to? They link it quite strikingly to the 8 doors of paradise. Wow, okay. So it's a process of calculation leading to a symbolic number. Precisely. And the insight isn't necessarily about doing the math yourself as you listen, but understanding how they apply this interpretive lens. Right, the methodology. Exactly. Take Surah An-Nisa, 176 verses. A similar process leads to the number 4, which they link to the 4 properties of the Prophet, I see. And another, Surah As-Sajda, 30 verses. This one's more straightforward. 30 divided by 5 equals 6, and 6 links to the 6 pillars of faith. It's this consistent approach, finding these single-digit symbolic echoes within the larger numbers. It suggests this, profound, preordained layer of meaning. It's quite remarkable, systematically deriving numbers and finding these deep theological connections. It suggests a hidden order. That's certainly the implication. Now, you mentioned this project wasn't static, it evolved. Right, that's right, it didn't just appear fully formed. The source material shows it was refined. That initial 5-line structure, it got expanded into something even more granular, more detailed. Yes, what they call a 5-dimensional framework. 5 dimensions, okay, what does that mean? Well, those 5 lines, they were sort of enhanced to carry even richer thematic elements. They gave them specific labels. Okay. What are the labels? There's the essence, that's the core revelation, the heart of the surah, the essence. Got it. Then the balance, representing divine equilibrium, justice, that sort of thing. Balance. Third is trial. Similar to the earlier structure, bringing challenges, tests, trial still there. Fourth, the ascent, signifying the spiritual journey upwards, the solution, maybe the path forward, the ascent. I like that. And finally, the eternal. Again, that enduring message of divine unity. Tawheed, the eternal. So, essence, balance, trial, ascent, eternal. A richer framework? Exactly. And each of these dimensions also has specific visual diagram concepts tied to it. They call them Tawhid pentagons, visual diagrams, Tawhid pentagons, yeah, aiming to illustrate how these themes connect, making the abstract a bit more concrete visually. Okay, this sounds like we need some specific examples to really grasp it. Can you walk us through a few? Absolutely. Let's start right at the beginning. Surah 1, Al-Fatiha, short, just 7 verses, but foundational. The opener, right? Its essence is captured as Pimuka Ramatimingu, the opener of mercy, guiding pure hearts. Nice. And its Tawhid pentagon? It's envisioned as a pentagram. Each point represents a core concept: gratitude, guidance, the straight path, and divine unity. Okay, and they're connected by golden spirals, apparently, with Bismillah, in the name of God, at the very center. It really sets it up as the opening blueprint for the whole system. Wow, that's intricate. A pentagram with spirals. Okay, what about a longer one? Maybe Surah 18, Al-Kahf, the cave. Good example. 110 verses. Its essence is Guaches Malindi Mura, the caves of patience protecting youthful faith. Reflects the story of the sleepers in the cave. Right. And the visual for that, the diagram, is described as pretty striking. Interlocking pentagons forming a cave structure with a time spiral. Interlocking pentagons like a cave with a time spiral. Yeah, symbolizing the themes of protection, endurance, the passage of time that are so key to that surah. It even explicitly highlights verse 18.109, the ocean of words verse, calling it a golden verse. Very visual. Okay, another famous one, Surah 36, Yasin, often called the heart of the Quran. Indeed, 83 verses, its essence, the heartbeat of revelation, reviving the dead. The heartbeat of revelation, fitting. And its Tawhid pentagon, it's visualized as a pulsating heart with 5 chambers. A heart with 5 chambers? Yeah. Each chamber representing a key theme. Revelation itself, the parable of the city mentioned in the surah, signs in creation, resurrection, and the Quran as a reminder, confirming its title as the heartbeat of the Quran. That's a powerful image. What about Surah 55, Ar-Rahman, the one with a refrain? Ah yes, the beneficent, 78 verses, its essence, the blessings of Allah unfolding across the universe. Beautiful. And its diagram? For this one, it's described as a pair of mirrored pentagons. Yes, connected by that famous recurring phrase, "Which of the favors of your Lord will you deny?" So the mirrored pentagons represent the earthly and the heavenly blessings, constantly drawing attention back to that question. That makes perfect sense for our Rahman. Okay, one more, a really short one. Surah 112, Al-Ikhlas, purity of faith. Yes, incredibly important, just 4 verses. Its essence, absolute oneness, no partner to him. The core of the absolute core. And its visual must be simple but profound. It's described as a cube with an inscribed pentagon. A cube in a pentagon. Yeah. The 4 corners of the cube represent the 4 verses, and the 5 sides of the inscribed pentagon represent the pillars of Tawhid, divine unity. They call it a Tawhid crystal. A Tawhid crystal capturing pure monotheism and geometry. Exactly. This very short surah beautifully encapsulates that core message. These examples really show the depth, don't they? The intellectual effort to map narratives, teachings onto this universal symbolic framework. It's extraordinary, really. It makes this vast amount of information feel more digestible, more interconnected, and the project doesn't stop there. It even classifies surahs into categories. Oh really? Like what? Things like cosmic, historical, legal, eschatology, dealing with end times, and purification. It adds yet another layer of organization and understanding. So bringing this all together, yeah, what does this mean for you listening? What's the takeaway from this deep dive into the Pentagon poetry? Well, I think it offers a really fresh, multi-layered way to look at a sacred text. Definitely different. It's a powerful testament, really, to how art and mathematics and deep faith can intertwine, how they can reveal profound insights, beautiful structures within complex information. It certainly encourages you to look for patterns, doesn't it? It does. It encourages you to look for those underlying structures, maybe question things, connect pieces of information that seem separate. Yeah. And just to appreciate the intricate design that can exist within these complex bodies of knowledge. It's a really strong example of finding harmony even within diversity. This deep dive has definitely shown us how one really ambitious project can, well, transform understanding. It makes ancient wisdom feel accessible through these surprising kind of elegant connections. Agreed. And perhaps here's a final thought, something provocative for you to ponder. Okay. If such intricate unifying patterns can be revealed, or at least suggested within a text like the Quran, what other layers of hidden wisdom might be waiting out there? Texts or just information in general. Exactly. In the vast ocean of information around us, what unexpected connections might you discover in your own areas of interest, just by using a new lens, a different way of seeing?